After reporting the situation at Fargodeep Mine, Marshal Doohan had tasked Eliryssa to survey the Jasperlode Mine. Following a well-deserved rest, she decided to head toward Jasperlode Mine to assess the situation. She planned to return afterward and visit the vineyard to investigate the unsettling scene she had observed earlier. As she stepped out of the inn, ready to begin her journey, she was interrupted by William Pessel.
You seem like the helpful type, Eliryssa. How about doing an old man a favor?
Of course, William. What do you need?
The last time I was over at the McClure Vineyards, I overheard Maybell crying in her cottage.
Maybell? I did notice something unusual there before. What's going on?
I'm not sure, but it's worrying. Would you be so kind as to go check up on her? I'm a little worried.
I was planning to visit the vineyard soon anyway. I'll make sure to check on Maybell for you.
Eliryssa stepped out of the inn. Her mind set on her plan to visit Jasperlode Mine first, then investigate the vineyard later. Yet, a nagging feeling told her it might be wiser to check on Maybell before heading to the mine. To avoid raising suspicion with Marshal Doohan, she decided to take the main road leading toward the Red Ridge Mountains, making it seem like she was on her way to Jasperlode Mine. As she crossed through Goldshire and approached the McClure Vineyard, she slowed her pace. She paused for a few moments, aware that she couldn't simply barge into Maybell's cottage without a valid reason, especially with the family members guarding the house. Eliryssa stood quietly, formulating a plan. Once her course of action was clear, she took a steady breath and began walking toward the cottage with purpose.
Good day. William from Goldshire sent me with some candles for Maybell. If you allow it, I can deliver them to her.
Candles, you say? William sent you?
Yes, sir. He seemed concerned and thought these might help her.
You don't look like one of his regular couriers. What's your business with Maybell?
I have no business, sir. Just delivering what I was asked to. That's all.
Fine. Be quick about it. I'll be watching.
Hello, Maybell. I was at the farm earlier and noticed you pacing. Is everything all right?
Oh, I'm cursed. My heart belongs to Tommy Joe Stonefield, but our families are bitter enemies.
I see. That does sound difficult. Is there something I can do to help?
I can't see him, even though my eyes ache to gaze upon that handsome face.
It must be hard being kept apart. Surely there's a way for you two to communicate.
Please, take this letter and give it to Tommy Joe. He's usually at the river to the west of the Stonefield farm, which is due west of here.
I'll take the letter to him, Maybell. You have my word.
Eliryssa dashed out of the cottage and headed west, her steps quick and determined. She was well acquainted with the Stonefield farm, but chose a longer path close to the river to avoid drawing attention from the ladies of the household. She knew there would be questions she couldn't answer without stirring a reaction from the family. As she approached the Stonefield farm, she spotted Tommy Joe standing beside a small creek that ran near the property. His face was clouded with sadness, his gaze distant as though lost in deep thought.
Tommy Joe? I have something for you, a letter from Maybell.
You have what? Maybell is the light of my dull life. Hurry, let me see her letter. Ah, I can't stand us being apart. I have to see her. Please, Eliryssa, talk with my grandma. If anyone can find a way to bring me together with Maybell, she can. She's inside our house east of here.
I'll speak with her, Tommy. I promise I'll do my best to help you and Maybell.
Eliryssa made her way toward the house on the opposite side of the farm, her steps steady as she planned her approach. She knew she would need to address the women standing outside, so she decided to stick to her story about delivering candles for Grandma. As she reached the house, she waved warmly at the ladies gathered outside. Her reputation preceded her, They recognized her as someone who had previously helped the farm and greeted her with kind smiles.
Candle delivery for Grandma. William sent me to make sure she doesn't run out of light. Good day, Grandma. It's nice to see you again. The farm looks as lively as ever.
Oh, hello, dear. It's always good to see a friendly face. What brings you here today?
I've come to talk about Tommy and Maybell. Tommy is heartbroken about being apart from her. Maybell sent him a letter through me, and he asked me to speak with you. He believes you might know a way to help them be together despite the family differences.
While our families are feuding, Tommy Joe and Maybell don't have much of a future, but maybe we can get them together for just a little while. What can we do?
Grandma Stonefield sat in thought for a few moments, her expression softening as an idea came to her.
I bet William Pestle has a potion to unite our two young lovers. Here, take this note to William. He's staying at the Lion's Pride Inn in Goldshire.
William. That's a pleasant surprise. I didn't realize he might have something to help them. I'll take this note to him right away, Grandma.
Eliryssa wasted no time and ran back toward Goldshire. Her thoughts were consumed by the excitement of helping Tommy and Maybell. But as she neared the town, she suddenly stopped in her tracks. With all the focus on the young lovers, she had completely forgotten about her task to survey Jasperlode Mine. She hesitated, realizing how bad it would look if Marshal Doohan saw her heading to the inn instead of the mine. She needed to deliver Grandma's message without raising suspicion. Sneaking into the inn unnoticed seemed like the only option. As she stood there thinking, an idea struck her, her transmorphic tincture. She pulled out the small vial, the strange liquid within shimmering faintly. Without another thought, she drank the tincture. A strange sensation swept over her, as her appearance transformed into something entirely unrecognizable. With her new look, she walked confidently into the inn. Marshal Doohan didn't spare her a second glance, completely unaware of her clever ruse. Eliryssa stepped into the Lion's Pride Inn, her disguised form blending seamlessly with the bustling crowd. Once inside, she moved to a quieter corner and removed her disguise, allowing her true self to reappear. With her appearance restored, she approached William Pestle, who greeted her with a warm smile. Without delay, she began to explain the situation.
William, I spoke with Maybell earlier, and she shared how much she longs to see Tommy. Afterward, I went to the Stonefield farm, where I spoke with Tommy and his grandma. They're both desperate to find a way for Tommy and Maybell to be together despite their family's feud. Grandma thought you might have a potion that could help, so she sent me with this letter for you.
You have a note from Grandma Stonefield, eh? I haven't seen Mildred in years. I wonder what she has to say.
Eliryssa handed over the letter, watching as William unfolded it and began to read. His expression softened as he took in the words.
My heart goes out to those two poor souls, Maybell and Tommy Joe. I remember being young and in love. Once. There must be something I can do to help them. Let me think. I've got it. I can make an invisibility liquor for Maybell, so she can slip away from the McClure vineyards and go to Tommy Joe.
An invisibility liquor? That sounds perfect. What do you need to make it?
To make the liquor, I need some crystal kelp. Although the kelp usually grows in the ocean, sometimes murlocs collect it.
Murlocs? I've seen them around before. Where should I look?
See if the murlocs near Crystal Lake have any. Crystal Lake is just east of Goldshire. Bring me some crystal kelp and I'll handle the rest.
Let me try.
Eliryssa put her disguise back on. and slipped out of the inn unnoticed. Heading east, she soon found herself near Crystal Lake, its calm waters reflecting the morning light. Right in the middle of the lake, she spotted a small island dotted with makeshift huts. And, as expected, the unmistakable figures of murlocs scurrying about. She knew murlocs to be hostile creatures, unyielding to any attempts at trading or negotiation. To make matters worse, she wasn't even certain these particular murlocs had the kelp she needed. Determined, she swam across the lake, her movements careful as she approached the island. As she got closer, she decided to check around their huts. However, the murlocs' territorial nature quickly became apparent. Before she could get too close, they attacked, their guttural cries filling the air. Eliryssa had no choice but to defend herself. Calling upon her skills, she fought back, subduing the murlocs one by one. Each spell was precise, ensuring she wasn't overwhelmed. To her relief, as she searched the fallen murlocs, she found what she had hoped for. Several of them were carrying crystal kelp. With the crystal kelp collected, Eliryssa swam back to the shore and made her way to the road heading further east. She tried to recall the directions Marshal Dewin had shared, her mind focused on finding the Tower of Azora, the landmark that would guide her toward the forest. After some time, she reached the tower, its imposing structure standing tall against the horizon. Turning toward the forest, she ventured deeper into the wilds. The area was alive with movement, teeming with wolves stalking the undergrowth and the occasional bear lumbering in the distance. Eliryssa pressed on, determined to uncover the state of Jasperlode Mine. She hoped she could return with good news for the Marshal, but as she approached the mine, her heart sank. The area was overrun with kobolds, their chatter echoing through the tunnels and the surrounding woods. After a moment of thought, she commanded her imp to initiate the attack. The small yet fiery creature charged forward, drawing the kobold's attention. This gave Eliryssa the opportunity to observe their movements and plan her approach. With her path partially cleared, she advanced toward the entrance of the mine. Keeping her imp on high alert, she relied on its sharp senses to detect any lurking dangers. Eliryssa stood at a distance, carefully assessing the situation. From her prior experience at Fargodid Mine, she knew the kobolds were anything but friendly. The moment they spotted her, they would attack without hesitation or mercy. Together, they ventured cautiously into the dimly lit tunnels. The deeper she went, the more dire the situation became. The kobolds were numerous, their makeshift camps scattered throughout the mine, and the air was thick with the sound of their chatter. It was clear the infestation was far worse than she had anticipated. Finally, Eliryssa decided she had seen enough. Turning back, she retraced her steps, her mind racing with thoughts of what Marshal Dewin might decide. The mine's state was critical, and any further action would require careful planning and reinforcements.
Marshal Dewin, I've assessed the situation at Jasperlode Mine. It's completely infested with kobolds, far worse than I expected.
Kobolds at the Jasperlode Mine, you say? Curses! The situation is worsening by the minute. Thank you for the report, Eliryssa, but I wish that the news you brought was good news.
I wish the situation were better too, but the mine is in dire condition.
The garrison on our western border has sent word of increasing gnoll and thief activity. They're requesting more Stormwind soldiers, but we just don't have any to spare.
That sounds serious. Is there anything I can do to help?
If you can help, we could use it. Go and speak with Deputy Rayner at the Westbrook garrison and see what he needs done.
Where can I find the garrison?
It's down the road to the west. After you cross the bridge over the small brook, it will be to the right.
Here is the crystal kelp, William.
You got them. Good show. Now just one moment while I concoct the potion.
William took the crystal kelp and carefully mixed it with other ingredients from his shelf. After a few moments, he poured the concoction into a vial, creating a vibrant red liquor.
Take this invisibility liquor to young Maybell. It should last long enough for her to visit Tommy Joe.
That's incredible, William. I'm sure this will mean the world to Maybell and Tommy.
Eliryssa hurried back to the McClure farm, the invisibility potion secure in her hands. By now she was a familiar face, and Paul McClure recognized her immediately as she approached. She greeted him briefly, mentioning she was delivering some supplies to Maybell. Pa, trusting her from their earlier encounters, nodded and allowed her to pass without much questioning.
Did you deliver my letter to Tommy Joe? What did he say?
Yes, I met with Tommy. We figured out a way for you to be with him. William has made a special liquor that will make you invisible, so you can slip away to your loved one without anyone noticing.
Oh my! I feel guilty deceiving my family, but my feelings for Tommy Joe are too strong to ignore. Thank you, Eliryssa. I'll drink this liquor as soon as I have the chance and sneak away to my love. And for you, please, take this.
Maybell handed Eliryssa 5 healing potions, a heartfelt token of her appreciation. The gesture warmed Eliryssa's heart, a reminder of the goodness that could emerge even in the most challenging times. She nodded to Maybell, her own quiet way of saying you're welcome, and turned to leave. As she stepped out of the house, a soft breeze brushed past her hair. In its wake came the faintest whisper, almost imperceptible. Thanks again. A sense of satisfaction settled within Eliryssa. Without stopping, she continued walking out of the farm, her thoughts lingering on the love she had helped nurture. Love doesn't make the world go round. Love is what makes the ride worthwhile.